What a view! This is incredible. An Ontario County nonprofit. Overlook Horizon high-altitude balloons.
3, 2, 1, launch.
Hey guys, Tori here from Overlook Horizon. It's a quick live stream here that we're just getting up to. Actually, I even forgot to make the live stream public, which is that's a bit of a problem here. But we're getting ready. I just realized that as I was going live. So we're getting into it here now. We've got the. Let me just get this out here on Discord. SN5 hop happening now. So we've got an SN5 happening, an SN5 hop happening right now. We just threw it together real quick because all of a sudden I thought we had more time, but not so much. The siren sounded just a few minutes ago, so we're somewhere between. This is NASA spaceflight stream here. They're saying about 5 minutes. My estimation is about 7 minutes, so we're probably somewhere between, let's get some music up here for a little bit, somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes away from an SN5 hop. This is super exciting. I just had to, I'm still a little bit flustered because I had to put this together so quickly. You can even hear a little bit, hear the siren.
And if they don't, I'll be as equally impressed by the...
There we go. So that's our warning siren right there. Getting ready. They have to warn the residents of Boca Chica that this is happening. So the Boca Chica village is very, very close to this facility here. So we're waiting to see what happens, to see if they actually have a hop here today. We can take a look. Here's Lab Padre's stream. This other one here is from NASAspaceflight.com. Show them some love because that is pretty awesome. But here's a close-up look of the actual Starship itself. So we're just a few minutes away here from a hop. And remember, yesterday they tried it. Today they're trying again, and hopefully we'll see their prototype Starship fly. So this is a prototype of their Starship development vehicle that's intended to take people to the moon and to Mars. This is just a prototype. Obviously, it looks very rickety, but don't let that fool you. It is actually a very sophisticated rocket. There is one engine on the bottom. There are landing legs on the bottom. There's a little bit of a skirt, a wall on the bottom, and the engine is up underneath inside, along with a bunch of landing legs that are on the inside wall. There's a mass simulator up on top. That mass simulator serves a bunch of purposes, but the main purpose is it simulates the weight of the nose cone itself, and it also raises the center of mass, which makes it easier to control. So without that mass simulator, the center of mass would be a lot lower, and they'd have to do harder pitch maneuvers to control it, which makes it much less stable. So putting that mass simulator up on top raises the center of mass, makes it a little more stable, easier to control. So that's that up there. It is a stainless steel rocket. This is likely, maybe they smooth this out a little bit, but it is likely what it's going to look like when it actually is built. I mean, they're not going to paint it or anything like that. It'll just be stainless steel like this. So it looks like a grain silo. Yeah, that's the common theme, is that it's going to look like a grain silo. They call it the flying grain silo, unlike the Starhopper, which is to the left of it over here. You can just see it next to my event list there. Starhopper was a flying washing machine, flying water tower. I don't know. They both kind of look like water towers, but yeah, that's our lovable flying grain silo today. All right, now NASAspaceflight.com is estimating about 2 minutes. This is not official, so NASA doesn't publish this, or SpaceX doesn't publish this officially. They don't give us actual times. There's no target time or anything like that for the actual liftoff itself. So this is just an estimate. They're estimating about 2 minutes. My timer's estimating about 4 minutes. So it'll probably be somewhere in that range. We're gonna see. It's just a wait and see game. It's kind of exciting, kind of frustrating. It's a little bit of both. But this is development. This is developing a new rocket.
Great. We'll see.
Oh, we see a double vent there. Actually, that's generally not good. That double vent, actually, it doesn't show on this one. Is this one live? Yeah, it is live. But it is showing, you can see the double vent here at the top of the rocket. Usually that's not good. Usually that's indicative of an abort and detanking. That double vent up on top of the rocket. That's not a good sign. They do have a lot of time in the window here today. They go all the way till 9 p.m. Eastern Time or 8 p.m. Central. That's 0100 Universal. Yeah, I think unfortunately, yeah, here's your close-up of the double vent there, up on top. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. This seemed like it was a little bit of an earlier abort. This seemed to abort very early in the countdown process. That could potentially be better, although this is a big vent. This is a long vent in detanking. But potentially, the question would be, how soon can they recycle this? Because I think that's an abort here that we've got. That's a shame. Man, we were so close again. I was getting excited. I thought it was going to happen. I'm going to let my countdown timer go all the way to 0. Yeah, Mark asks a good question. Is this more of a crew module and not a rocket per se? Well, it's definitely a rocket, but this is the upper stage of the Starship and Super Heavy rockets. So this would be where the crew would be in the upper stage there. It will have a lower stage as well, which is enormous, called the Super Heavy booster. That would be the first stage of the rocket. So this is only the upper stage, really, that's where crew or payload potentially would actually fly on. So there would be an upper stage and a lower stage. This is that upper portion. But this one would still have lots of fuel and lots of rocket engines on board. Not nearly as many as the Super Heavy booster, but it's still a rocket. Wait, did it detank? Yeah, I think we just saw detanking. I think we just saw detanking a few minutes ago, so I think we're in an abort. I was going to let my countdown timer go all the way to 0, but I'm pretty certain that we're aborted. It'll be the shortest stream ever. Yeah, it'll be about a 10-minute stream, and then we'll come back and we'll try it again. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's an abort. Yeah, I know, it's a shame. We'll take a look. We'll read a couple questions before we make it the shortest stream ever. Because I am working today, so I've got to go back to work if we are aborting. But we'll stick around for just a second, because it was kind of nice, because I'm on lunch at the moment. Let's see what else I missed. I wonder how much that cost. I don't know if they gave us... Yeah, so there's no... We got nothing. Sorry, I'll answer your questions here in a minute. But we're definitely in an abort scenario here. That's unfortunate. So now the question is just recycling. And they could easily recycle this. They'll have to back up the count, potentially go a little bit longer or delay the actual target time. Well, look at this. That's a big vent from off to the side. What's happening there? That's kind of, it almost looks like that's a huge vent right there. It's kind of covering the air. This is a little bit, it's a little bit unusual. I guess the big question here would be, is that liquid oxygen or is that methane that's spilling all over the place? Because that's a lot. I would think. I don't know what's happening there. That's a lot of something. Looks like nitrogen, same flow. Yeah, I guess it could be nitrogen. That's the methane flare. Yeah, see, if it was methane, you'd think it'd be burning. So yeah, I'm kind of with Framrick. I think maybe it's maybe a nitrogen vent. Because that's a lot. That's a lot to happen there. Quick, someone light a match or light a smoke. Yeah, you don't want to do that around rockets, especially if it was methane. But I'm hoping that that's not methane going all over the place, because that's when it can lead to a big kaboom. It's the methane flare, but it could still be nitrogen. Yeah. Yep, it's kind of what I'm thinking that it is. But that did seem like a huge amount. This SN5 is causing so many problems. Yeah, I mean the thing is, it's a development, and it's not just the rocket itself, but all the ground support equipment is all in development too. The stand, the plumbing, the piping, the fueling process, the whole thing is all in development. The connections to the vehicle, like, remember, it's got to connect to ground support equipment to fuel it up and have electrical power and connections back to mission control, and then when it launches, it's got to have a quick disconnect. So even that was actually one of the things that caused a problem on, I think it was SN4, was one of the quick disconnects was just leaking all over the place, and that caused a big boom. That was a big boom. It does not look very aerodynamic. Yeah, this doesn't have the nose cone on it. Don't forget, it doesn't really need to be aerodynamic. It's only going to 150 meters, which is about 500 feet. Very small hop. Doesn't really need the aerodynamic nose cone yet. It will eventually, but not at this stage. We don't know why. It's that one is very confused. What's happening? Why did it abort? So we just had detanking and then a huge vent or spill out of what appears to be nitrogen. This is not ideal for actually launching the rocket, so we've got some sort of an abort. The question is, are they going to recycle and go for another attempt? So we'll probably end the stream here shortly, and if they have another attempt, then I'll start up another one. But we're just going to wait and see, especially after this big vent. Originally, I was waiting to see maybe if they would start the recycle process pretty quickly. Check Everyday Astronaut stream. I think something is leaking. Yeah, sure, all right, we can pull up his. Let's see, where is... Hold on a minute, let me pull it up. See, give me 1 second to pull this up here. I don't see much else. So here's Everyday Astronaut's view here. I don't see anything in particular that is... Yeah, I don't see... It's hard to see any sort of view. Hard to tell. Of course, I'm in the way here. Hard to really tell what's happening. But we got some sort of detanking happening. There's Everyday Astronaut stream. Well, I think... Oh, I wanted to go to this one here. And we're going to go back to... Lab Padre's view, because this is a nice close-up view there. You can see it all venting out of that methane, the flare stack on the right-hand side. But I believe it is nitrogen. So that would be inert and not at risk of exploding. Can someone just press the right button? Yeah, you just got to be careful. You don't want to launch too soon because you got to make sure that it's not going to go kaboom. It's much better to wait because you can always try tomorrow. If you rush it and you have a kaboom, you're not trying tomorrow. You're trying weeks from now because you got to clean the whole thing up and get another one ready. I don't think it's methane because it'll rise, not settle. Yeah, it does look like nitrogen because it is, yeah. Like, who was that said that? Kumar said, yeah, it's settling towards the ground. So yeah, that would kind of be indicative of it being nitrogen as well. Although I don't know, I guess I don't know how, like liquid methane would behave. I guess it would heat up pretty quickly and the clouds should be rising much more easily. So yeah, that should be nitrogen. Can I ask what they're launching? They're launching that big silver grain silo. It's a prototype of the Starship. Prototype Starship that is part of their development process trying to get to an operational Starship, so that they can fly people to the moon and Mars. This test in particular is a controlled test. Really, they're going to 150 meters or about 500 feet. And then they're gonna go up, move to the side, go down. It's really just a test to see if they can control it. Is it fueling up? It did, but we've got detanking. Beeston says, check Everyday Astronaut again. You can see it clearer. Here's... Yeah, you can just see the flare stack. I'm gonna leave it on this one here because I like the closer view. Did they F it up again? No, I would say actually the opposite. I mean, they aborted, which is actually what you're supposed to do. If they launched it and it went kaboom, that would be a problem. That would definitely be a problem. But no, this is, I would say this is well within normal development here. Kaboom. You like my you like my engineering terms, Jamie, that I'm using the kaboom. That's exactly what they have on their displays. I'm pretty sure when they're looking at the displays, they get a warning that comes up that specifically says kaboom warning. Danger. Kaboom imminent. Get out of this. Abort. Don't do it. This Boyle would fly in. Yeah, this particular one's not going to go to space. This is a prototype. This is just going to do some of their flight tests. They have more coming that are even more. They're upgrading along the entire process. So they keep building new ones, upgrading the process, learning a little bit, changing the design, all that kind of stuff. So this one's not going to be your orbital final version. This is a prototype to get them to that final version. What test number is this? So this is SN5, meaning serial number 5 for the actual rocket itself. But they've had a number of like static fire tests on all the different platforms. And even before, this is serial number 5, but they also had a Mark 1 and Mark 2 before serial number 1. So this is like the 7th or so that they've built and put on the test stand. Although I think, didn't they test SN7 actually? Like it was a pressure test. So it's like the 7th or 8th one that they've actually gone through testing with. Every abort without an explosion is a success. They learn something every time there's a successful abort. Exactly. Yep, that's a perfect way to put it. Any possibility for fire today? Yeah, there's still like 8 hours left in the window, so there's lots of time that they could recycle this. Why can they not put the nitrogen back into the tanks? So like all the fuels and stuff like that, they would try to recover some of the fuel. Some of it will have to, because it's going to warm up and turn gaseous again. Some of that will have to vent off. But some of the detanking, if it's cold enough, they could recover some of it. Is SN5 and SN7 identical? I think SN7 was just a small tank test, if I'm recalling that correctly. But I don't think any of them are identical, because I think they're changing little bits every single time. But SN6, which is right behind this, is very similar. Why did they abort? We have no idea. Somebody said due to a pump failure. Well, that was yesterday. Did they say something new about it today? Yesterday was scrubbed for a pump failure. But we don't know why today. Just looking to see if there's any sort of update. Yeah, I don't see any updates from Elon or SpaceX or anything like that. So I don't think we have any idea why they aborted today. Music's getting a little bit loud there. Yeah, so Fritz46 verifying my info. SN7 was a test tank, and yeah, SN2 was also a test tank. So those were like little tiny test tanks that they built for pressurization tests, trying to make sure all the welds would hold under that super pressurized fuel. How long does it take to build the thing? It's usually, they build them very quickly, usually within a couple of weeks. I'm going to change something here. Change this just to so it wasn't too distracting. I want to make that a little more transparent, so you can see Lab Padre's logo there at the bottom, because you know this is his stream, so we show him some love. Space Lobster, 10 years after we both will know why it didn't start the wait, what? I don't understand that. What happened? So we had about 20 minutes ago, we were getting close to liftoff. They were fueling the rocket, and then we had an abort and detanking about 20 minutes ago. Is this the new space shuttle? Kind of. I mean, it's not a shuttle system. It would be a new crewed rocket system to take crew to the moon and to Mars. It doesn't look like much because there's no nose cone on it, no payload area. They're just testing. I mean, this is how they test. They build prototypes. They're going to test the control surfaces, the engine gimbaling, make sure that they can have full control of the rocket, make sure their software is correcting for how the vehicle is moving, all that kind of stuff. And so this is one of the steps along the way in the process. They built this prototype. They're going to test to make sure they can control it all right. It's supposed to fly to 150 meters, then move over, then land, and it's just a short, like 90-second flight test. It's not very long at all. Only goes to 150 meters, which is like 500 feet-ish. Do they have an automatic or manual flight termination system built into the rockets? Yes, they should have something, one of those. Whether it's automatic or manual, I don't think we know the answer to that. But I believe the FAA requirements just to have any sort of flights would be to have they have to have a termination system of some sort. So whether it's manual or automatic, we don't know. But SpaceX is known for their automatic flight termination system. So it could be they have the AFTS on there, but could also just be manual because these are quick prototypes that they're putting together. See what the final, yeah, let's show you what the final version is going to look like in case you're new to the Starship. So this is what they're trying to get to here. This is the Starship there, and this isn't even really a final version. This was one of the fully built ones that they had made. Let's get to let me show you. Let's see if we can pull it up here real quick. I'll pull up the view so you can actually see like the full thing, because this is, like I said, this is only the upper stage. So we want to see here, let's put this up so you can see this. Here's an idea. This gives you a little idea of what it's going to look like. So the upper stage there is the Starship, and the bottom section is called the Super Heavy Booster. So we're only looking at that top section there. The bottom section is actually even bigger. That top section is what they're testing right now. Haven't even moved on to the bottom, the booster section there. But you can see the top section. It's that's where you would have your crew, your passengers aboard would be up at the very top. Supposed to be able to hold up to 100 people, which is kind of crazy. The booster would turn around and go back. One of the cool things about this is it's 100% reusable. Booster's reusable, and the entire upper stage is reusable. So that's one of the big things about this is nothing is wasted. You don't lose solid rocket boosters. You don't lose a fuel tank. You don't lose the booster. You don't lose payload fairings. You lose nothing. Everything is reusable. First stage comes back. Second stage would come back with crew. So there's our second stage. It's now this is actually showing refueling, on orbit refueling, where you could get two Starships. You get one Starship in orbit, bring a second one up with a little extra fuel in it, connect them together, and transfer fuel from one to the other. This is how they would potentially prep to go to Mars. They would have to refuel the Starship on orbit, and then they would send the fully fueled Starship off to Mars. And the question would be, how many times would you have to do that? Like, would you have to do it once or twice before you could go to Mars? Like, would you have to launch 3 Starships to fully fuel it and then you could go to Mars? We're not really sure how those details are going to work, but you'd refuel it on orbit, and then away you'd go to Mars. All right, let's see. See what else we got. Not a lot of activity here happening now. Looks like that whole flare stack purge is done. They're drawing. This is NASA Spaceflight.com drawing on their stream here. Is Starship project heading towards failure? Having such a large size rocket is of no use as risk increases too much. I would actually say quite the opposite. It's heading more towards more success, because now you have originally Starship was a SpaceX only project, and just recently SpaceX won a contract to develop Starship further for potentially as a lunar lander. So it's actually going the opposite direction. They've convinced NASA that it is a good idea, and now NASA is giving them money to help fund the Starship project and speed it along. So yeah, I don't think it's heading towards failure. It's actually quite the opposite. They are heading towards more success, because now they have interested customers like NASA saying, oh, hey, that's a great idea. Let us give you some money to help you make this a reality faster. It's no longer just SpaceX paying for it out of their own pocket. Can you tell me when the rocket launches? I cannot tell you that. I can't. I can tell you right that about 30 or 25 minutes ago, we had an abort called. They still have about 8 hours left in the window today, so it could happen anytime between now and 8 hours from now. We have no idea. Where is Elon Musk? Elon Musk is actually in Boca Chica, in the control room at Boca Chica. Are they launching the actual Starship or just the rocket? They're kind of one and the same, but this is the Starship, the upper portion of it. They haven't even really built the super heavy rocket, the booster stage, the first stage of it. Are you going to be here all 8 hours? No, actually, I'm probably going to wrap up here in a few minutes, and we'll call it for now. And then this is where I tell you to make sure you're subscribed and you turn on notifications because we might be back later. If I hear the siren again, I'll fire up the live stream. Why is the Starhopper still around? They kind of turned it into a utilitarian purpose there, so it's... I don't know why they kept it around to begin with, but now that it's around and they've it there, they've actually mounted cameras on it, and they're kind of using it like a mast. So they've mounted cameras and sensors on it. You can actually even see, if you look right here, there's like a rotating, I don't know what that is, like antenna or weather sensor or something like that right here at the top of Starhopper. There's a bunch of cameras right here. So, yeah, I don't know why it stayed around to begin with, but maybe that was the plan. Well, no, actually, I take that back. The plan originally was to make it a vertical test stand for Raptor. That's why I forgot about that. That's why they kept it around to begin with, is the Starship was going to be a vertical test stand. Although, they haven't really done that I know of. Now it's kind of turned just into a giant mast for their cameras and sensors. When is liftoff? We don't know. We have no idea. Sometime between now and 8 hours from now. Would the rocket be a modified Falcon or Falcon 9 Heavy 2 week? No, wait. Yeah, not nearly strong enough. This will have no relation to Falcon. Everything on this is brand new. The engine's brand new. The rocket body is brand new. The tanks and bulkheads and everything's new. Maybe they reuse some of the software ideas and concepts, but physically, everything's brand new for this. No relation to Falcon. Why are we still here? I don't know. Good question. I thought they aborted. Are they going to hop or not? No, yeah, we are aborted, but they have 8 hours to go. I was kind of just waiting to see if they were going to recycle. Is the purpose of this rocket to migrate to Mars? The purpose would be, is to make humans multiplanetary. Put a weird emphasis on the wrong syllable. This is to make humans multiplanetary by getting them to Mars, setting up a base on Mars, setting up a base on the moon. So it's to get people out in the solar system. That's the point here. Why did they abort? Because it's developments. They don't share that with us that easily. The only way we find out is if Elon tweets it, which he has not yet. All right, so because we're aborted, and I also have regular work to do, then I think I'm going to call this for now. But that doesn't mean that we won't be back later. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you hit that notification bell, because if they, like today, I went live 10 minutes before it was about to launch. So it could be a very quick spin up to go live again. So if we do have an event, then we'll be we'll be right back at it. So make sure you're subscribed here to the channel and you have some notifications turned on, or you're at least you've got notifications in our Discord channel, because that's where a lot of notifications go as well. And I'll throw a Discord link in the YouTube chat. So, okay, well, that's it. Sorry for the big nothing here, but we thought they were going to go. We thought they were going to go. They did not. And so I'm going to go. And I will be back later if they do decide to go. So, all right. Well, thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Hopefully I'll see you later today for another attempt. All right. That's it. I don't know how to end this. How do I end it? I just got to say bye. Okay. All right. Well, I guess. You know what? I should just not. Because that's only because the moderators in my Discord make fun of me for how many times I say that I'm going to depart. So I think maybe I just won't. Not that I won't depart. I just won't say that I'm going to. It'll just be a surprise. What do you think? Should we just end it?